Turning to the latest news in Israel's war with Hamas. The conflict is entering its 7th week, and Israel is turning to Palestinian civilians in the hope of solving the hostage crisis that is a critical backdrop to the fighting on the ground. These are new images of a leaflet drop. The leaflets offer protection and incentives to Palestinians in the southern city of Rafah, who provide information about the captives. Meanwhile, another advisory warns civilians to leave the town of Khan Yunis as the ground offensive moves further south. Just days ago, Israel said the area was safe. Meanwhile, we're seeing pictures of fuel tankers entering Gaza. Israel's war cabinet yesterday approved 2 truckloads each day for use by aid agencies and healthcare facilities only. Israel has also hinted it will allow, quote, unlimited aid into the territory. We continue our coverage near Jerusalem, where the families of Israeli hostages and their supporters are on the last day of a march in solidarity and protest, demanding more effort from the Israeli government to return more than 240 captives held by Hamas. Ellen Morrow is part of our CBC News team on the ground in Israel.
Well, you can see this huge crowd, hundreds if not thousands of people here on the edge of Jerusalem marching into the city, streaming here through behind me. We've heard chants throughout the morning of bring them home, of government, do your job. This is all about keeping the focus on the hostages, the more than 230 people taken hostage by Hamas during the October 7th attacks. It's a really powerful symbol of the anguish and anxiety that exists in Israel over the fate of all of those people still being held. And it is about putting pressure on the Israeli government to do whatever it can to find some kind of deal to bring those people home. It's also about, people in the crowd here told us, about just trying to appeal to Hamas to let those people go. We spoke to one woman in the crowd. She told me that her friend and his son are among the hostages, and here's what she said about the feeling here today.
I think the world needs to see that. The world needs to see that we're all here for them, not to kill anybody innocent in Gaza, just to bring them back. This is our only wishful thinking.
Now, this is the culmination today of a 5-day march that started in Tel Aviv, more than 60 kilometers from where I'm standing. The marchers are going to arrive at the Jerusalem office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a few hours.
And Ellen, as that continues today, we also know that the humanitarian crisis continues to unfold at the besieged Al-Shifa hospital. So what more can you tell us about what's unfolding there?
Well, it's a little difficult to know exactly with very spotty communications into Gaza, only just starting to come back online after being down for the last few days. But what is emerging this morning is that hundreds of people are now evacuating from the Al-Shifa hospital, patients who were there and the displaced. Now, there are conflicting accounts of what led to this this morning. Doctors at Al-Shifa and the Gaza Health Ministry, which is run by Hamas, said that Israeli troops there gave an evacuation order of just an hour's notice for people to get out of the hospital and evacuate. Israel disputes that account, saying there was no evacuation order, that it's responding to a request from the hospital director to evacuate people. So conflicting stories, but people are leaving that hospital after being there in very dire humanitarian situations for days and weeks at this point. Where exactly they're going to go is incredibly unclear. And of course, there are people who are too sick to leave, who are unable to leave, including the newborn babies who we've spoken so much about in recent days. And doctors will remain there to help care for them. But the difficult situation at that hospital continues for those who are still there.
The CBC's Ellen Morrow near Jerusalem.